I draw it from the history of close fraternal ties which bind us together. Dating back several centuries, India and Africa share a rich history of political, economic, and cultural links. The feeling of solidarity, mutual trust, and confidence born in the days of colonialism continues to drive India-Africa cooperation to this day. India has been one of the strongest advocates of African decolonization and has worked for the end of racist and apartheid regimes of the past. As a nation, we have great respect and affection for our African brothers and sisters. I would also like to invoke the legacy of the great African freedom fighters, Mr. Jomo Kenyatta, Patrice Lumumba, Kwame Nkrumah, Nelson Mandela, Sam Nujoma, to name a few. These great men continue to inspire us to this day. Africa is the land where a young English-educated barrister from India by the name of Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi evolved into an opposite of peace and non-violence and later became the father of our nation. For this, we would be eternally grateful to Africa. Excellencies, India remains united with African countries in their quest for peace, security, stability, growth, and prosperity. India's partnership with Africa is centered on the 10 guiding principles articulated by Indian Prime Minister Sri Narendra Modi during his address to the Parliament of Uganda in 2018. Our Prime Minister had clearly stated that Africa will be at the top of our priorities. We will continue to intensify and deepen our engagements with Africa. Apart from the goals of developmental, commercial, and technological partnership that India wants to forge with African nations, and the statement also covered cooperation in strengthening capabilities in combating terrorism and extremism, supporting UN peacekeeping missions, and work for open and free oceans. Excellencies, the civilizational ties, including people-to-people contacts, have laid the foundation for free flow of ideas and cultural exchanges, which continue to this day. A sizable population of Indian origin lives in African countries, acting as bridge between Africa and India. Indo-African ties are multifaceted, covering economic, diplomatic, and defense domains. In the defense sector, we share a robust partnership which is based on the cooperative framework of Sagar, that is security and growth for all in the region. Sagar draws upon our ancient ethos of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, which means the whole world is one family. Excellencies, African priorities are our priorities, and we appreciate the efforts made by African countries towards building a common African peace and security architecture. I am very happy to know that we have been able to institutionalize this forum after the first India-Africa Defence Ministers Conclave held on the sidelines of DEF Expo 2020 held in Lucknow. The theme of this second edition of IADD also flows from the Lucknow Declaration adopted in that conclave. The theme of this India-Africa Defence Dialogue, adopting a strategy for synergizing and strengthening defence and security cooperation, truly signifies the underlying commitment of India and African countries to explore new areas of convergence for defence engagement, including areas such as capacity building, training, cyber security, maritime security, and counter-terrorism. Excellency, we share a multifaceted defence and security cooperation relationship. India remains committed to support your efforts to deal with the challenges of conflict, terrorism, and violent extremism. India and African countries are important stakeholders in ensuring a safe and secure maritime environment, especially in the Indian Ocean region. We work together in many regional mechanisms, and these endeavors foster inclusive and constructive collaboration in dealing shared security concerns and address common challenges to peace and prosperity. Excellencies, COVID-19 pandemic had a disruptive effect on our economies and peoples. I am proud that India was among the foremost countries supporting Africa in dealing with the challenges posed by the pandemic. The Indian Navy exhibited excellent capability and service through successful completion of the Mission Sagar initiatives, which helped provide timely supply of COVID-related emergency medicine supplies. It also deployed medical expert teams for training and assistance. Additionally, India has been the first responder in providing humanitarian assistance and disaster relief to several African countries. Over the years, India has contributed immensely to the United Nations peacekeeping operations in Africa. It is among the top 3 countries contributing troops for UN peacekeeping and has participated in most of the UN peacekeeping operations in the region. India has trained officers from several African countries at its military training institutions. We have assisted in setting up of defense training institutions in some African countries. We have also extended counter-insurgency and training to many African partners and organized multilateral field training exercises like the FINDEX 19. The next edition of this exercise is planned to be conducted in the first quarter of the next year. Excellencies, we believe peace, security, and development are interrelated. Security is essential for enabling development in the region. As India continues to enhance its defense manufacturing capability, I invite African countries to explore Indian defense equipment and technologies. I would like to bring to your notice that India has emerged as a leading defense exporter in recent years. We have created a robust public and private defense industry. A defense manufacturing ecosystem has been created in India which has the advantage of abundant technical manpower. Our Indian defense industry can work with you to fulfill your defense requirements. Excellency, India is steadfast in its commitment to provide support in all areas to African countries for fulfilling their aspirations for peace and stability in the region. India is willing to work together with African countries in the areas of mutual interest. India's defense and security partnership with the African continent will continue to be guided by our traditional goodwill towards African people. Friends, India does not believe in a hierarchical world order where few countries are considered superior to others. India's international relations are guided by the very essence of human equality and dignity, which is a part of our ancient ethos. We do not believe in making or becoming a client or satellite state, and so when we partner any nation, it is on the basis of sovereign equality and mutual respect. Forging relations comes naturally to India as we work towards mutual economic development. Excellency, I am sure that you also share our belief that the global world order deserves to be democratized further. The world's multilateral forums should be reflective of the change in global realities. In this regard, it is necessary to make the UN Security Council more representative, which will give it better legitimacy, thereby sustaining a global order in which the principles of international peace, security, and order are respected universally. Excellencies, I thank you for honoring our invitation. I am positive that the discussions during this dialogue would help India and African countries to deepen the understanding of our existing security challenges and explore new areas for future cooperation in the defense and security sector. I wish you all a pleasant stay and a productive visit. Thank you very much.